by which during the time I healed a man's back of chronic disease. And healed another man's back as well. Helped him, most definitely. Well, at the same time, managing, this was at a mental hospital on top of it. Not many people go to a mental hospital, for one. And not many people who have gone to the mental hospital and have gone, well, since you know, the right time when your body is active, aka 15 years, that's 11 plus years for me. Not many who have gone to the mental hospital. 5 grams of PCP in the system, that's what it showed up as when I did cough syrup pills that had a drying agent in it. Basically on an acid trip, you could say, in a nightmarish-like mental hospital. Drank soap while I was there. You're not able to think clearly, trust me. You will feel everyone's thoughts upon you. You will believe in paranormal activity. Suffered suicidal thoughts from 3rd to 5th grade, 6th to 8th, so on and so forth. Honestly, if a Christian wants to quote battle me, you don't have a heart. Because that is to say, you do not even consider anything I say. You don't consider any of my sorrow. Jesus would I actually believe Jesus would smite you if he was real. Because honestly, Jesus would look to me and say, "Thus have no faith in ye, Father, but yet ye is as faith in ye, Father." Honestly, don't debate. In fact, if you do debate, I'll respond. I will. I was gonna say I'm not gonna respond, but I will. I know I am. I respond to usually all my comments. As far as me sounding like, oh, he sounds kind of flustered. Well, that's because I'm making points that deal in the most severe experiences of my life. Though there are experiences I have had that I won't talk about because the details are gruesome. You really don't want to hear about those details. Most people would have ended up just going insane and doing stuff. Me, if I ever am to go insane, I go insane within. Because I know the obviousness. If you are to express insanity, what usually happens? Just as if you express anger, what usually happens? And to me, this is common sense. But to others, it might take them years to figure out. I don't know. I don't know why it takes so long to figure out such simplicities, but at the same time, the unnatural circumstances are far worse than you know. Once you realize how insanely obscure these living conditions are, again, as I've quoted before, you're really going to wonder why you didn't go supernova at McDonald's or something. You're going to wonder how did you fathom it? Well, incidentally, you were practicing immortalism and did not know it, because you were adapting to situations that shouldn't even been adaptable to. But that is how beautiful and amazing life is. Life is still able to flourish and create, though can be in the most natural, obscure surroundings. Despite there being clothing for girls around 7 and up that are actually lingerie, despite these crazinesses around us, that I think a lot of people are not paying attention to that detail. But then again, I could be wrong. But I don't know. I would have to. I really can't confirm that. There's a lot of YouTube videos out there, but I think that's just overlooked. Plus, I don't think a new age truther goes to Walmart and really deciphers all the clothing. Plus, if you're a guy, you're not going into the women's clothing section to find out what's up. But by synchronicity, I catch glimpses on TV at the right moment and find out the right information at the right time. Why? Do I need a why? I live. I don't base my life on whys. I don't base my life on hows. I base my life on life. Most people by my age, this is being comparing. If anyone says I'm being self-absorbed, I doubt that's being thought of. I really do. I'm thinking of third-person perspectives. I always have third-person perspectives in mind. That is why I pretty much inevitably cannot help but to express what third-person views of realisticness is, even of obscurities, because I've seen so many examples in my discussions, but also to cover more angles, to give you more sides to discern from. I have no reason to make up anything. I have no reason to sit here while in pretty fair amounts of pain, fair being not a good word, but as far as like the level, um, I am still conveying consistency. And despite my time talking to these persons, which I have to say I was only talking the entire time, they definitely were not speaking. Um, my consistency rate was 99.99%. The only difference was quick typos. Which, realistically, those aren't even to be counted, and I literally can count how many there are. No response still. Um, honestly, that's to say we don't care what you have to say, and we're just gonna believe blindly. If a Christian's saying I'm talking satanic like, I tell you what, here's for the Christians. And now I sound like I'm being prejudiced or whatever. Not sure if I'm using the right term, but it sounds right. Heaven, castles of porcelain diamonds, cathedrals of mesmerizing icicle-like gaze reflecting shimmering sapphires, ruby falcons. I'm going to kind of mix it up a little bit. Light as wild and as beautiful as the mosaics of color and beauty itself. Violet, to represent a caring depth of love and interests, surrounded by tranquility. Pink, the blessing of absolute compassion. These colors and many more, reflected in her prism-colored wings, glowing and radiant with ascended grace. Jade fountains and of fluorescent melody, meaning light to make music. Fluorescent meaning vivid light, deep articulated colored light, to express that a bit more to articulated levels, to more simplistic understanding for you. Just in case. To drink of the fountains, to feel Grace's warm touch within the heart, fluttering as the clouds within the sky in twilight moonlight. The dazzling felt within a sacred purity, a crystal feeling. Crystal to say amazing multiple folds of specific feeling, sacred to the heart's depths. The being fills with tremendous multitudes of both happiness and of understanding, that allow not possible uprise of discomfort or difficulty. She at ease, she at absolute solitude. At the heels of grace she flies. Oh yeah, I sound demonic, don't I? I'm breathing fire. Good gosh. You know, in some ways it's a little funny, but the scary thing about it is it's not funny because most Christians who hear that are not agreeing with their religion, they automatically demonize willingly, which is very weird. Why would you willingly demonize others? Jesus says don't judge. They take care of that, aka Jesus and the Father. Um, and they also like to persecute. Um, in the video Serene Perfection, I really do admire that video still. That video is just beautiful because it really sums up so many things. It talks about how love is more of a chain than a freedom, devotion rather than admiration, devotion over freedom, control over freedom. I mean even love has become a cult. Love is still so very new to you all, to whom it applies to, because I know that there are some out there that truly do know genuine love, but honestly, you, I'm just letting you know, you really don't. I mean, your core self does. Believe me, your core self does, but there's only so many people that realize their core self. I mean, the fact that there's no talk of the sixth dimension on YouTube other than me, um, that says plenty. I actually looked up the seventh dimension at one point.